Welcome to the Crypto Day Morning. Today's date comes in that of Sunday, 27th of January 2018. All bets, trades, and of the like. That is within each's own risk and their own reward. Within PivX, looking at such via that of the daily time frame, the possibility, potential, or the probability odds for that of a leg lower most certainly coming into place. We had point A low, point B high, and a nice little high and low along the way as it was making it to that point. Total major level of support established right exactly the price and area where it is now. We have this little move in here that happened a few days ago, getting it above the 24 handle, close to even closer to 25, 247. Now down to 203. So failed breakout. Now back down to the 18 lows. To me, a price leg lower would not be a surprise when I see this situation as it is. And now as we cross into Bitcoin on the daily term time frame, as it's been sticking within this 18 average for quite some time. It had that little bit of its rally yesterday, going up to the 18 average of highs, and has immediately came right back down to this very heavy support level. And it's in the upper end of its direction. The lower end barely below this line of 34.29. Basically a $1,000 area in the, or 100 rather, dollar area in its support point. But getting down below this, as I've been stating, I'm not a big fan of any major support down towards this level, although it can be on the situation of breaking lower. But because of this rally and then failing as I see it in such, there we can see more towards the rally. There's the move, and it gave it back immediately, and really wasn't even able to hold the area where I would have liked to see it hold, which was 35.66 up to about 35.86. Instead, it resisted amongst that area in here. And let's take a look at a few other coins, because a lot of them now showing the negative scenario as well, with Bitcoin falling. Within Theta, it's had this great gain over the last few days as it broke resistance at about 1440, making it up to 1900. It has now since retraced down to 1600, has broken below this kilo. It stopped its momentum in here, thus where it needed to support. It didn't do such, and now of course one leg lower from this point further. Taking a look at this on the 4-hour time frame, the price has come down to the 18 lows. It's at the upper end of the area for where I need to see this particular rally. Not really just from the 24th, but yeah, from just in here to see it hold the key areas. When we look at this on a daily term, it has had this upward momentum run. So therefore, this to me is one of two things. This is the correctionary move within the reversal of trend, for the 18 has started to rise. Where was the key areas in here? Let's just ignore these moves in here. And we can see in this level that the general lowest area is roughly around here. The upper area for coming back to where it came from, we have several of these highs in here, which coincides with this period's close as well. The general area of these highs, and technically speaking, I guess we could even talk about this in here as an upper area. So yeah, this would be a good, I'm gonna maybe just count more of these hits, because I got this high, I got this high, I got this high, and this high as well. So a lot of key areas here. This is the general area where it resisted for many days from just before Christmas up until a month there after that. And that's what it needs to hold. And if you don't see those levels hold, then you're looking at all those failed breakouts fast move higher. But given this correctionary move, if we start to see that this market does give back and doesn't hold this, because the 18, the price here, that's going to make this go flat. That's going to neutralize the situation. Thus, a leg lower than here is just going to be that for further correction on the daily, because of course it's 18. It's already, the upper end of the 18 is where the resistance number is, so it already has that key point. So correctionary move there, not a surprise, but no guarantees, oh, this is going to be great support or failed breakout, because I don't know. However, on the more long term, if you say, hey, this coin is really good, I've had a lot of people talk about how this is a very good case use coin. And in such, that means in time, Bitcoin, if it's going to do very well, there's going to be rallies coming, whether it be 1 week, 1 month, 1 year from now. And then this could go as short or as long to follow as well. So therefore, all of these moves up and down are just going to be a bunch of whatever until we get to that point. So for myself, I've already sold up to this 1900 level, and I haven't bought it back yet, although it's getting closer, as this 1500 to me is a very key level that I'll be looking for as a buyer to start getting everything that I've already sold. And next, let's take a look at Steam, which we have one of these lines on here from yesterday's session. A low of 110. And I had, back in here, put a whole bunch of buy orders for prices, generally speaking, 70, close to 8-9x. How about that? I've removed all those orders, and I took the Bitcoin and I did whatever else with them. But I was thinking, if the price was in the 700s back when I put the order in, I probably would have done like 103, 102, 104. And I see the low was 110. So that would have sucked for me had I still had it in and I had like 104, 105. But those who buy down there, well, only price pays. Let's move this next to the actual exchange that doesn't have those moves, and that would be one on Bittrex. And seeing it amongst this level, we can see that it's came back to the upper end for where it needs to come to, which matches the resistance from December the 22nd. A medium level for where it came from would have matched the resistance from early January, and that comes in at a little over 8,000. And then more deeper at a normal spot, or where the resistance from here would be, at around 7,500. But we're now seeing 4 in a row, decent size red candle moves to the downside. I'm trading this versus Ethereum, and it would have a bit more to come down amongst such, but what has meant in here was all the buying stopped here, and it's been nothing but selling. I've just now had a buy order fill at the 250, no, 275, I think. And that is where I did buy it. And then the next level would be pretty much down in here. If it's going to go down any further, the 275 down to 223, that would be a differential of about 20% to the downside. But again, just a matter of division, as you're going to take the price of Steam, divide it by the price of Ethereum, and you'll get a number somewhere around 0.00276 right now. And when you look at this on the weekly chart, you can just see in here all the opportunities within the buy low, sell high system. Not only, or strategy, and system, yeah, I mean, it really kind of is. But just having these types of moves on the weekly chart, where it hits these lows at around 23, it goes up to like 45, that's decent enough volatility. What it means is from point buy down in here, all the way to pretty much down to this low, definitely maybe down to this low, you had a whole whack of buys and sells back and forth, which work out well. But then you can get sells up here, buy back here, sell up here, and when you look at the numbers back at this point, This low is 38. This high is 52. That's a differential of 14 points on the 38, which is representing of about 30+%. So definitely opportunities that are available, but then after selling in here, if you're able to, sometimes you'll have your order here and you'll miss it. That's just going to be how it works as well. But you got the buy opportunities in here, sell up here, buy down here, sell, buy, sell up here, buying down here. And it's been selling, obviously. So if it comes back down, then obviously it's going to be just further more of that to buy. But I expect it to just keep doing those kinds of movements along the way. And overall, buying low, selling high with market movements like this can work out to be very profitable. Now, one market that just won't stop going up lately has been Tron. Amongst the weekly term time frame, after finding this little bit of support in here, it's gotten above the 18 and it has just continued an upward trend of this rate of ascent now for 6 weeks. Viewing such within the daily term time frame, price action getting up to this level of resistance. It's already matched it. So you have this high, you come back to support. Establish a shorter term level of resistance and make a higher low again short term. Break the short term level of resistance and then grind your way for a few days, and then yesterday's session it breaks that status of grinding higher, breaking that short term resistance it had established once again, and then continuation up to close to this high. This high comes in at 863 Satoshi. Today's high comes in at 858. Differential of 5 basis points. Not quite 1%. Pretty much an exact hit in my book. And as I state, these are the spots I'm not a big fan of when you have a key high, a nice higher low, and then you have a move back to that point, and your last little bit was a really decent quick move. And it could have been, it's even worse when it's, say, full momentum from in here. But what are we going to have happen at this point? Will we have just a little bit of resistance? And if that's the case, this is the area that I'd be expecting. Come back down to the 18, back down to this previous level. It could be a key top, and then weeks after the fact, we could be talking about price action correcting in a retracement to the downside, and we're at 485. That could very easily be the case when we're talking now about where we're going to be, and thus this would be a key top. But getting above it, what I realize is, to me, it's foolish to be selling at like 920 and 940, because it's probably going to break this. And conservatively, just looking at pure numbers, the price point of 1,000, a psychological number, is about 140 basis points. That's still not even quite 20%. That I'd even think that the better sell targets would be even north of that number. We look at this again on the weekly term. We got 1,065. Another reason we'd be thinking that conservatively a match of this previous high. And again, that would be the same spot of what do we do if you have the point, a low or high, then the low, and then you have you fast move up to previous high, because it hasn't done that yet. It's still a decent level to go. But if this continues on in the next couple of days to go up towards here, that could be a situation where, like, where do we go now? Do we have a small correction? And on longer term, you'd be talking about a small correction to 730. Or do we just breeze past this and go well past 2,000? Because that's most certainly going to be in play, because we do know with these cryptos, when they're ready to go, they're ready to go. And when we look at this weekly time frame even more further, because of this particular week coming back, as we see on the shorter term, it has had that level of resistance, that this thing could go just wild hog, wild crazy, basically, if it has that break of resistance. It has had a decent sized break now on the hourly time frame. It's came back to a short-term level of resistance and the 18 right now. So therefore, that's going to be enough to pretty much neutralize this market, with the 18 going sideways if it doesn't go down from here, because going down would make this start to well, basically go declining, And shorter term, are we establishing any major levels of resistance? Just barely, but breaking down below this since it's had a little bit of a correctionary move. Well, we could be talking about filling in some of this extra space, and then, as I've been stating amongst the daily, coming back to this level of resistance. Are we going to go down a little deeper, maybe to like 722 into this area here as well? Because I mean, like I stated in here, this to me a previous high point. I did sell near that high because that's what I do as far as strategy is concerned. I would have ended up buying somewhere near this lowest point at around whatever, say 650ish or whatever down in here. And then I had two sell orders on the way from this low. I had one up in this high in here, and then or somewhere, but then one right near this high last night as well. So now I'll be looking to look for a break of a decent sized break above this, close to 1,000 to sell again. Or if it's going to come back, because I sold at about 850, I'd be looking to buy somewhere around in here. And I'll just let the order game work for me. I got a buy order ready to go, a sell order ready to go. And until they tell me a trade is executed, there's nothing else for me to do amongst that trade. And we'll finish it off with an OMI's Go, which is looking continuation of a downtrend amongst this weekly chart as it has been resisting it. Looking here as if it's barely breaking through what looks to be a level of support. Looking at this on a shorter term as it was on the weekly term. I guess I can lift this line up a little bit further, but there we go. Today has had a significant break of that level of support. So now an area that was that of support is what I'll be now looking for as an area for resistance, not only intermediate term but short term as well, as its move is just happening amongst this 4-hour period. And as I've been stating, you break a key support or resistance level, decent sized red or green candle along the way. No different here amongst this on the single hour term time frame. Well, it's happening just this hour, just happening pretty much right now. 15-minute term happened in the last 15-minute session. Therefore, it happened between 9:15 and 9:30. And on the 5-minute time frame, we can just see as it breaks, just boom, 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 just very fast moves to the downside. Let me just put this on a better volatile chart, or a more higher volume number. And on the short term, there was a lot of things that were available, as this falls down to 312 and comes back up to 328. So the difference of 312 to 328 is 16 basis points, and you need almost a little over 3 for 1%. So that's like a 5% move. So there's been a lot of availabilities. For not many people would do this, but you could technically buy here, and then you'd sell it here, and then you're going to buy it back in here, and then maybe you're going to sell somewhere in here, and then you got bought back in here. Maybe if you bought this, potentially you might be selling, but you might be waiting for another sell order to come up here. Just a lot of short-term wild moves on decent volume. People just unloading this at decent amounts. And when I think of this very quickly, what makes sense on this this is almost like a group basis. People together that own large amounts are all selling. So Mike does a dump. Hey, Steve, or hey, Johnson, or hey, whoever. I sold my OMI's Go, and then they come in, and then Johnson sells his OMI's Go, and then Stephanie sells hers here, and then Michael sells his there. Well, I'm kind of kidding, but something like that wouldn't surprise me, as well as these are just a case of 5 different times with the 5 different big red volume periods where people just came in and had a decent sell session. Thank you for tuning in to today's video, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.